Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm just going to give a quick video about a certain topic, or a certain emotion actually, that I noticed a lot of people are struggling with really recently. So bear with me, I'm just doing like my morning run and walk, so I figure in this time, just like, you know, cooling down now, I'd get on and just like try and give some information out there, just to try and help people out really, because depression's a really hard emotion to really figure out what it really means. As mentioned before, if you've watched my content before, about all emotions, all negative emotions, shall I say, are basically emotional switches, right? So they're basically just like signals in the body for us to change. That's basically all they are. So the overwhelming part is the physiology that's attached to them, right? So when we feel an emotion, there is a physical to it, right? So I'm a big advocate for that, because the more you can recognize that, the more you can be in control of that. All right, so bear with me. But once we understand what the signal actually is and what message it's trying to give us, the quicker we can come out of it straight away. You know, it's quite a crippling emotion, depression, because what's happened is you've had some certain experience happen where you've had prolonged experience of, say, like sadness or overwhelm, let's say, and now that's led to the emotion depression, which is now became like demobilizing in some ways. I imagine a lot of people can sort of relate to that in some sense, you know, because it's like, it's crippling. I mean, it'll keep you down, it takes away from your energy, it saps all from the resources, and takes away the power from tomorrow, or to the power to tomorrow, shall I say. Sorry. There is a massive distinction between sadness and depression, right? So there's a massive difference between sadness and depression, obviously, right? So when we're depressed, it's sort of like a state of basically saying, what's the point? There's no point. Do you know what I mean? So one of the main things straight away is your life feels out of control, right? Everything is not in your control at all. Everything's out of control. So the number one first thing to do, there's a 3 sort of steps to do, is prioritize. You feel out of control, right? So you need to sit down and write down, prioritize everything that means something to you, right? Write a list, whatever you have to do, write them down, and do the first one on the list that makes you the most happy, if you like, you know? This isn't no pump up video, by the way. This is tools that you'll be able to use to get you from where you are now to where you want to be, right? So that's the first thing to do. Sit down and prioritize, okay? Because think about it, like, realistically, when you left school, did you really leave school with the mentality of like, you know, I know exactly where I want to be going, and where I'm going to be going, everything, and how I'm going to deal with everything? No, you know, it's so you're never told this. So it's time to sit down for yourself and really figure out what you want out of life, what you want to achieve. I don't care how ridiculous it sounds. Once it's down on paper and there's an action plan corresponded to it, you'll notice it won't sound so ridiculous anymore. I promise you. Right? I don't care what it is. You want to be an astronaut, you want to be a fucking whatever it is, right? The world's your oyster. You can achieve anything, trust me, right? So that's the first step. The second step is understanding that depression's message is basically saying, I can no longer be this character I'm trying to portray, right? So you need deep rest from the depressed state you've been in, right? That's the best way to remember that. Deep rest from the depressed state. So you need to rest from it, you know? You're trying to project this character that you're no longer are, or who never was, right? So, like any emotion, there's the negative, there's also the positive side to it. So that's the second step, understanding that, deep rest. The third step, the most important one, like I just mentioned, with the negative emotion, there's also the flip side when it comes to emotional anatomy, right? Because that's something that's got to be a part of your life's work, is understanding your physical and your emotional, right? You're going to have to remember that for the rest of your life, right? Because that's just the way the emotions work within us, right? Physically and mentally, there's 2 ties, right? So I'm all over the place, like I say, I'm just trying to cool down a bit. But yes, the third and most important step, right? To be in a depressed state, if you have long periods, right? If you've had long exposure to the emotion, or the experience of just having anything suppressed, right? Do you know what I mean? Depressed, suppressed. Any sort of suppression, I don't care what it is, what you're holding in will eventually turn to depression, right? So suppression will lead to depression. And the way out of that, expression, yeah? Do you know what I mean? So depression's the negative end, if you like. Expression is the counteract. That's the way out of it. That is the cure-all, if you like, if there is any. Okay? So you need to express who you really are. Get out there. Do what you need to do, man. You know, I understand it's crippling and it wants to keep you down, but the way through it is go through them steps first. Check your physiology. Yeah? Understand you need to prioritise, write down what you really want. De-press from the person that you're trying to portray. And then express, okay? The sooner you do that, you'll notice the emotion will just drop, because the message has now been answered, if that makes sense. Okay? So yeah, I just wanted to come on here really quick and just give some information out. So I hope this helps everyone. So take care all.